Previously on Up at Noon.
It's okay, Greg. It's okay. I know Young Justice was canceled, but there'll be another Superboy cartoon soon.
Oh, there's never gonna be another Superboy cartoon. And what's Nolan North supposed to do for work now? You're not my real father, Superman. You're not my real dad. I'm Superboy. Hear me roar! Lex Luthor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Up at Noon. Big ups to Nolan North. Come on, one more time for Nolan North. It's so sad to see somebody fall on such hard times in this economy, especially since he was doing so well when he was on this show last week. I guess Troy Baker won't be happy till everyone's out of a job. We got a big fat show for you today. Brian Altano is here to talk about what an always-online Xbox could mean for gamers, and Supergiant's Greg Kasavin is here to give us a brand new look at Transistor, their awesome, new, upcoming sci-fi action RPG. These are the guys who made Bastion. Probably going to be dynamite. First, though, news you care about. Today's random printouts. A cold open for the script. Naomi, holy snap, it's Xandra Van Wyck. This is something that goes up on IGN every day. I don't know. I don't know anymore. The director of the last 4 Fast and the Furious movies has announced that he's retiring from the franchise. Now, we here at Up at Noon aren't sure who will take over his prestigious role, but since those movies are about Paul Walker driving a car really fast, it doesn't matter. Sony has revealed that a new update will allow PlayStation Vita owners to create storage folders for their Vita software. Here's your first look at them. See, they were folders and they were empty because you're not playing anything on the Vita. You don't even own a Vita. What are you putting in the folders? The Twitter app? You're not putting anything. 42 and Scary Movie 5 opened in movie theaters this past weekend. For those keeping count at home, 42 is about a baseball franchise that's run by evil white people until talented black people joined and made it better. Whereas Scary Movie 5 is about a comedy franchise that was run by talented black people until evil white people joined and made it worse. Take-Two Interactive recently acquired the WWE license from THQ, and the company has now announced The Rock as the cover athlete for WWE 2K14. But looking at the cover, I gotta say, they didn't try really hard. All right, yeah, you guys like that one. Twice the fun, one headline, here it comes. Take-Two Interactive recently acquired the WWE license from THQ, and the company has now announced The Rock as the cover athlete for WWE 2K14. But unfortunately, since they bought it from THQ, it's this Rock. Thank you for that was a pity laugh at the end if I ever heard one. Those are our Rock jokes this week. Harder to write one than you might imagine. Tomorrow, Injustice: Gods Among Us fights its way into stores, and I gotta say, I'm pretty pumped about it thanks to this prequel comic book that's been going on the last few weeks. However, some at IGN, some of these editors, so-called editors, think the story is too far-fetched. To prove them wrong, I'm gonna recap the entire series to date in 60 seconds, so you're ready for tomorrow. Are you ready in the audience? Yeah! Can we get 60 seconds on the clock? Count me in, Alexis.
In 3, 2, 1.
Really? F you. You're going to tell me that Injustice is too far-fetched for comic books. Okay, so here's what's happening. Injustice starts right, everything's normal, it's Superman, it's everything you'd normally expect. But then you know what happens? All right, so Joker comes on and he kills Jimmy Olsen, and Lois is pregnant. I left this out. Lois is pregnant with Superman's baby. They find out on that day, but then Jimmy gets killed on that day by Joker. Joker gets kidnaps Lois. They take her away. They hook up a bomb to her on her heart, right? Well, it's the trigger on the bomb on her heart. Her heart triggers, if it stops, it's gonna trigger a bomb. And they put the bomb in Metropolis, and then Scarecrow and Joker, they trick Superman, right? And so that his greatest fears come true. And Superman, he thinks he's seeing Doomsday, but instead it's really Lois, but he doesn't know that. He flies Lois out into space. Lois's heart stops. Metropolis is nuked. It's destroyed. Superman loses his fucking mind, man. And he's like, all right, then I'm just going to take over the Earth. It's like Superman 4 when he went to the United Nations and said, I'm going to take away all things. And then they take Atlantis and they put it in the desert. It's a good comic. It's a good comic, is what I'm saying. And if you think that's the most outrageous thing in comic you've never, I mean, like, Superboy Prime punched reality once and brought Jason Todd back to life. The lowest thing isn't that crazy, that's all I'm saying, all right? My papers are all wet, and I'm pretty sure I ruined the green scheme. But finally, with the rumors of the next Xbox requiring a constant internet connection, Microsoft creative director Adam Ornth was recently under fire for comments he made online that downplayed the whole ordeal. For comment, we now go to Microsoft's head of public relations, Brian Altano. Brian, what are your thoughts about this whole debacle?
What happened? My internet was out. I missed it.
Brian Altano, everybody. Always online. You get it. It will be a grim future if our video games only work when they're online. Speaking of grim and wet futures and wet desks, Greg Way, the upcoming game Transistor is all about them. And singing too. Give it up for this week's guest, Transistor's creative director, Greg Kasavin. As I live and breathe. Greg Kasavin, how are you?
Doing well.
Yeah? Thanks for coming.
Of course.
What's your goddamn problem? Bastion comes out. I play it begrudgingly on a 360 and a PC, and I'm like, this is fun. It's awesome. 9.0 IGN, I love it. Tell everybody how much I love it, and then I wait. And I wait. And I wait. And then finally, you're like, hey, guess what? Bastion news. It's coming to iDevices. And I'm like, all right. And I wait. When do I get trophies? When does this come? I have a legion of PlayStation faithful ready to buy it.
Oh man, that is tough. No, I mean,
what happened? Explain to me why there's no Bastion on PS3. No one gets this new game.
That is tough. I mean, the only excuse is our own mortal incompetence.
No, that can't be right. You're not on the internet.
We're a small. I mean, we're a small team, and like at a certain point, we just, we make the decision of whether we're going to make something new or just keep bringing out Bastion to new things. So it's tough. It takes a lot out of us to like make a new version of the game because we try to make it the best thing possible and all that, and it's turns out it's not so easy. I can't program myself, and our guys are real good, but we haven't ruled anything out, but at the moment we are working on something new.
All right, what's this new game called?
It's called Transistor.
Transistor. I saw it at PAX. It's delightful.
Thank you.
I like that with the voice is back, the narrator's back. Not as the narrator this though. Give everyone the synopsis. What is Transistor?
Yeah, it's our new science fiction themed action RPG this time. Bastion was our kind of weird fantasy frontier world, and this time around it's this kind of it's a city that has not been destroyed. It is still intact. But yeah, you play as this woman called Red, who's having, I guess, a very bad evening in this game. She discovers this very unusual weapon early on in the game, and these strange things immediately sort of pounce and try to kill her, and are trying very desperately to get this thing back. So there's a lot of mystery at the beginning, and she's kind of having to fight from street to street to figure out what is going on and try to put an end to these things that are happening to her.
Now, it was interesting seeing it at PAX, listening to Mitch and Marty not shut up about it, because they just talk about it all. Yeah, that's good for you.
Yeah.
Me, I'm ready to pull my hair out, and I just got it back.
Where can you tell?
Red used to be the singer,
Yeah.
correct? And then she's lost her voice now.
Yeah.
And then she finds this weapon that then has the narrator voice we all know.
Yeah. She finds, so she happens to find this, it's this kind of sword, and it is embedded in a man's chest who is very much dead, but there's a voice coming from it, so basically the guy's entire consciousness has been like transferred into this thing, and implicitly they know each other, so discovering kind of their relationship is part of what the story's about.
What platforms is this one coming to?
We don't know yet.
I just want a few trophies from you. That's all I want. All right? Some good ones, some easy ones.
It's good to know.
All right.
Yeah.
I filed my request.
Yeah.
How mind-blowing was PAX for you? I guess, how mind-blowing has it been since Bastion? Bastion, I remember, I'll never forget the first time I saw Bastion. I went to this pre-E3 Judges Week. They were showing Batman. They had all these big games. And then they're like, oh, you got to see this game called Bastion.
Yeah.
And they brought me over to this small little table, and it was you. And I played it, and I was like, holy shit.
Cool.
This game is awesome. But it's even saying that, for downloadable games, it's hit or miss, right? There's plenty of great games that come out on downloadable platforms, and we all tell you to go play Fez. Not everybody goes plays Fez, and it doesn't explode. But Bastion seemed to hit with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that, it's been super crazy for us, I think. I think it's still very surreal for all of us. I mean, we still come into work day in, day out and just, you know, in a lot of ways things haven't changed for us at all. And then we're like reminded that the thing is sold like over 2 million copies now, just crazy.
So what's next step? When's Transistor coming out? What are you targeting, kind of thing?
We think it's going to be ready early next year. Okay. So we still have a ways to go. It's all kind of pre-alpha. This is the first time we have anything we think worth showing to people at all. So yeah, still a long road ahead for us. But thankfully, you know, we just now our challenge is just to deliver on the promise that people saw in it, I think.
Well, and then we've talked a little bit about storyline and what's happening, but it doesn't control like Bastion. That was a big, big thing even from it, right? You have to be, you're planning, and it's all about sight lines and moving around. How do you describe the gameplay to people?
Yeah, I would say it has kind of a more of a strategic focus. We want it to be a more like thoughtful experience, moment to moment. Bastion is very sort of twitch-oriented, very reactive. We wanted it to feel very good, to like perform timing-based attacks and stuff like that. This time around, we were interested in like letting players kind of dictate the pace of the battle for themselves and having more of like an ebb and flow as you fight. Just actually, you know, for us, it's all about kind of creating more drama when you fight. So you have these moments where you kind of hatch your crazy elaborate plan, and then most of the time your plan is going to happen just as you want, and you're like, yeah, that was awesome, but once in a while, you know, there's going to be a surprise and things won't go exactly as expected, and we found that to be a lot of fun. And also just kind of the open-endedness around having this planning mode where all of us on the team use it in really different ways, and we wanted the combat, above all, just to feel deep, and this was like the direction that we took with it. And
Gotcha.
It's been promising.
All right, now switching gears and being serious for a second. I've been giving you the hard time by that old PlayStation. Yeah. What did you take away from PlayStation 4's debut? They come out and they're like, we've learned from our mistakes, right? Cell processor was hard to use. This didn't work for developers. We're making the system that's on par with high-end PCs. Yeah. Was that promising to you?
Absolutely. Promising to me personally as a longtime game player. Like the idea of like we're going to focus on the games. I like that they're out there talking about games, not talking about, you know, Twitter apps or whatever. Right. That stuff is fine, and I understand that game systems have to, you know, have a broad appeal at this point. But the focus on the core of being an amazing game system that is like fast and easy to use. For me, they were saying all the right things. Definitely the stuff like I want to hear as a game player, but you know, of course, the proof is in the pudding, and I'm like anxious to see.
Well, great. Everybody, this is Greg. Transistor comes out sometime in 2014, maybe on a PlayStation platform, maybe with passive multiplayer. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Pleasure. That's our show, everybody. A huge thank you to Brian Altano, Greg Kasavin, and you, my wonderful Wet and Wild audience. If you want to be in that audience, go.ign.com/up-at-noon for details. As always, Brian and I will be responding to the comments the first hour this video is live on IGN, whenever it happens to go up, because it's been rough lately. But all you have to do, you just order a big pizza, you eat it in bed like a baby sloth, and you talk to us. You ask us anything you want, and we're there for you. We'll be back next Monday. But until then, I'm going back to bed. Dave Fenway.